Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Good to have you here as always. So tonight, part 2 of the interview with Tomas Bisson from Steelcapped Strength. We're continuing on where we left off with Tomas talking about his first trip to America to perform at Hammerfest in Idaho. So let's get into it.
Right, we sat in the plane. I wait for my girlfriend to fall asleep so I could order a beer to see she was nervous. But she woke up and like this. I said, fuck off now, I'm gonna drink. So I took one can of beer and the machine starts, I'm an alcoholic, so I can't drink just one. So finally she sleeps and I was pretending to go to the toilet. And then I saw the stewardess with a drink wagon. Please, can I have 10 bottles of small gin bottles? Oh, yes, sir, she said. So I took them in my pockets and went to the bathroom. I went back to the seat, put some headphones on, and it was country. But, well, now we're going to America, I thought. So we landed for many hours in Chicago. Fucking hell. This airport was almost like big as the city I live in. So we stand in a queue for a long time when we were going in to the security. My girlfriend just got fram to a big guy who sits there. Looks like a fucking copy of that psychologist from the TV show Dr. Phil.
Oh, yeah, right.
But a bigger version, but almost a twin. And he smiles at her, welcome to America, and in the passport. And so it was no problem. Now it's my turn. I didn't even dress up like a skinhead just because I was so afraid to go to USA. So I had a flat cap, just a T-shirt and long arms, and ordinary sneakers, ordinary pants. I stood there and tried to be cool. Then he started to ask me questions like, hey, hello, where are you going? To Idaho. Why are you going to Idaho? And we have a common a line we had discussed before with the Hammerskins, so they, didn't get me. So I told him, I'm going to see a friend in Idaho, and how do you met that friend? At a concert in Europe, was the line. So and then we kept contact on the internet, so blah, blah, blah. Okay, when were you here last time in America, he said. No, sir, I've never been in America. This is the first time. Okay, where are you going? He said again. To Idaho. I told you for a minute ago. Yeah. When were you here last time? And I thought, what the fuck again? But I didn't say it. I was like, oh, I've never been here, sir. Well, what's the problem? Right? What are you going to do here? Meet a friend. For half an hour, we stood there, and the sweat started. Two cops came and looked down at me and looked like 2 meters tall and just as wise as, but finally he said, welcome to America. And I took prints from my thumbs and my eyes in a fucking machine, and then and I was, fuck, that was the first. And then we had to sit for many hours at the Chicago airport to wait to board the flight to Idaho. Yeah, and that was a long trip. We went there. When we finally arrived in Idaho, I say, all right, I didn't get nicked here, so I will fix this. I will make this trip. So suddenly, everyone, the hall was empty, and it was me and my girlfriend. And there's a police officer coming, looked like fucking Clint Eastwood, cowboy hat, khaki clothes, and his gun, walking like that, and looking at me, and I was looking at the floor. Shit. And then I heard a voice when the police has left the building. I heard a voice behind me. A pig is always a pig, and then a laughter. I turned around, and there was a Hammerskins.
Shit.
Yeah, and that was the guy who was going to pick us up, and we were going to live in his house with his family for that week.
Right.
So I think, oh God, finally we're leaving this shit place. So we went into the car, a little chat. I sat beside him in the car, and he drove. And he started to tell me about this week is very stressful. Oh, no shit, I said. Yeah, because the feds, the FBI, is after us all. So you have to be very careful and do what I say. What? FBI? What the fuck? What happened now? Just the first evening, he told me a couple of months before this, a friend to them called Michael Wade Page, the Sikh temple killings.
I knew Wade.
So he told, Yeah, I saw that in a video. Yeah,
Yeah,
and he seems to be a nice guy, they
he
said,
was.
despite what he did. Yeah,
Yeah, and that was a fucking shock to everyone, man. Horrible, horrible, horrible thing to fucking happen. So this was the first Hammerfest after that, after Wade did
yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
the FBI actually wanted to classify the Hammerskins as domestic terrorists because of
yeah.
that. Yeah, so there was a lot of pressure, and you were there for at that. Fuck, man, I wouldn't have wanted to be there.
No, and I didn't. I had missed it totally. I didn't knew it. So he told me about how I should act if the feds comes and take me. And I'm like, no, whoa, whoa. I was, what, take me to the fucking prison? Just what I imagined, you know. This is
Yeah,
why I don't go to America.
right. You saw the prison
yeah,
scene in American History X. You know what fucking
yeah,
happens to fucking
exactly.
skinheads in jail, right? So fuck,
Yeah, in the shower
fuck.
scene.
Oh man. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you that
So
helped your anxiety a lot.
exactly. And I didn't drink. I was like, fuck. Yeah, and we speak about it, and yeah, he said they want to intake what's the name? A report how it is,
Yeah.
and we didn't post your band's name on the posters. Okay, I said, yeah, because special international guests. But that was wrong of us because then they was more interested. Thanks, guys. I thought, yeah. So we met a couple of police cars, and I was like this, but but it was okay until we got home to his family. It was just like the movies, suburban area with houses, and you go through the garage to go into the kitchen and stuff. And I was very nervous, and his wife was big and Christian, very Christian wife, and I didn't
Mm.
couldn't how do I say? You know, he was a Hammerskin and she was Christian.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you think it doesn't like they're completely different values altogether,
yeah,
but
yeah, exactly.
the thing is, especially in Idaho, they're really Christian. The extreme fucking Christians, you know, like.
Yeah,
And especially Americans, it's like, you know, if you're a racist, well, if you don't believe in God, then you can't be a fucking true racist, you know.
no,
It's fucking weird, man. So yeah, I get it.
that's really weird. Yeah.
Yeah,
So before we went to his house, he went to a little house before that where there was a lot of Hammerskins waiting to meet me.
sure.
So, and we have been awake for over 24 hours, you know, the jet lag and stuff.
Ugh.
So I was okay. We go there to the party, and that was Brent and people. You knew Brent.
Yeah, Brent Radicalization from Definite
Yeah,
Hate. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Hammerskin.
Uh, and people from Australia, open season, Jim,
Oh yeah,
the lad,
yes,
you
yes,
know.
yeah. My old prospect, Jim. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were kind and very nice that evening. We talked and oh, I've seen a legend and hugs, you know,
Yeah.
and some beer. And then we went back home because we were tired to his place. And I went to his place. And his wife, Christian, but oh, finally, my Swedish friends and hugs. And I was, fuck, please let me go to bed. You know, and I had anguish and I couldn't show them I was awake. so so before we went to sleep, she was going to make us food because we were their guests now. She was very friendly. There's no problem about that. But before we went to bed, he said, I want to talk with you. This is important. Okay. So we sat in the living room and he was telling me about the feds again and what's happening, how many people he killed. And he shot an officer in the face, but he didn't die, unfortunately. He said, okay, you know, but we will fix this. We'll fix this. We'll see you tomorrow. So I didn't sleep that night either. You know, I just wondered what the fuck should I do? But
All right.
so the week, yeah. And so every day, we were there for a week. Every day after we went there, we went to Walmart, to KFC. He showed me stuff I only seen in movies. So that was fun, you know, when you go with the desert ways, you can ride your bike. It was beautiful. But every day he told me, oh, that might be the feds. Look at the black car. I was, you know, every day. So finally, the day of the gig arrived. Came the D-Day. So he went away early in the morning to help his brothers to arrange the place, and it was a private family who rented. so the feds couldn't interrupt the show. They could only film us from the helicopters.
Yep.
Yeah, only. But he calls me. He calls his wife when we were going with her to the venue, and want to speak with me. Okay, so I took the phone. Yeah, if the feds is going to take you, you say this, you take that, because now they have taken one of the highest ranks in our our chapter. And he's in jail now. They question him and stuff, and fuck. And they're really looking forward to meet you, the feds. And I said, no, I don't want to meet the feds. What the fuck? They're going to play, and then I'm going to go home. I said, no, but we can't do anything about it, blah, blah, blah. So, but fuck. But I was lucky. They never came to pick me up. And then they released that guy, so he told me what they had been talking about. Then it was just about where we were going to be and how many people. But this was an outside party, so... the gig started, and it was American bands and the Australian band. It was Blue Eye Devils, open season, and I was playing with Steelcapped, of course, but it was rented musicians, Brent and a guy called Josh on drums.
Okay.
So, so the gig went off, and they had lights, and I couldn't see the audience. I just saw some right arms and the jumping around and stuff. So we went home after that night. Right directly after the gig, I want to stay and hang around with some American hammers and have a drink and chat with them. But the guy, the hammerskin we lived with in his house, said, no, we have to go. It's problems. So packed the car full, went home to him. And then the day, I will tell you the day after, he said. So in the morning, the next day after the gig, he told me, did you see the trouble in the audience when you play? No, I have a big fucking white light in my face. I couldn't hardly see anything. There was almost a shootout. Okay, but you didn't have any security? No, it usually go well. All right. So the thing is, a guy from the Hammers and a guy from another, I don't know if I can say their name here. It's a prison gang. It's a big prison gang. So they had been some scuffle between them, and the hammer guy had chased him away with a gun. So now it was payback time the day after. So he told me I had to go down to the house I were at the party when I met Brent. A hammerskin lived there with his family. So, but the thing is now, the word says on the streets they're going to get revenge and making shootouts at families and houses. So you need to stay here and protect my family. And your girlfriend said, what? I said, wait, yeah, a shootout? Yes, he said, and this is fucking real. And I was a member of the Blood and Honor, and he said to me, that doesn't matter. Now we're brothers. Now we're together in this. Okay, I said. So, but what should I do if they come and shoot out? Do they come to the house, or do they do it like the movies? We don't know. Maybe they shoot and then they go in into cleaning, you know. And then before he goes, he gave me a big flashlight, a big fucking flashlight. What am I supposed to do with this? I said,
fucking blind them with it or something.
Exactly. I told him that, shall I light them to death or what? So that you sit by the chair by the window beside the door to the entry, and then I gotta go. I love you, brother. He said. Then it went. So the girlfriend and his wife and his kids were in the bedrooms, locking the doors, and I was supposed to guard them with a fucking flashlight in the United States of America. So I'm sitting there, and I hear cars stopping, and I was, what? But it was just passengers, they're passing by. And suddenly, I sit there for 2 hours, I heard steps on the stairway. I went, what? And then I heard something on the door. So I stand up with the fucking flashlight, and I see it was a round, when you open the door.
Handle?
The handle, yeah. Started to move. Fucking hell, here we go. So I took the flashlight and just waited behind the door. If it comes, I will fucking beat the shit out of him.
Sure.
What could I do if it comes with a fucking gun? Then I heard, hello. It was a woman. It was the wife to him, his mother. And I stand there with a flashlight. Hello.
What the fuck?
So, you're the Swedish guy. Oh, she was, you know, where's my daughter and my grandchildren? There, and I wasn't allowed to say anything. So I took the flashlight and sat in the chair, And then she was there and talking. I said, Carson, you have to leave, I thought. So, but finally she took the grandkids and went away, just spending time with them. And the ladies went back to the bedrooms, and I sat there. And then his wife comes with a phone. It was him down from the other house. So you have to come down and help us to take the owner of this house 4-year-old child away, because now they have called the other prison guy, and it will be a shootout here. And his mother is sleeping because she was totally drunk, and he's sleeping too in the evening. So what should I do? I will give you address. It's in the same block, just 2 blocks away, or something like that. So you can see the house from us. So his wife drove me down there, and when I come, there was 3 or 4 hammers on the porch with guns. Hello, Bisson, great that you can help us. Sure. You can see my anxiety there. Totally sober anxiety disorder. But yeah, I fixed this. So I went inside the house, and everyone, thanks for yesterday. Good gig, brother. Now we're going to shoot this motherfucker. Yeah, good luck with that. So I carried this boy, and it was going on the backside, and it was a big backyard with long grass, and it sounds in it and says, but be careful, it's 2 crocodiles. Crocodiles are fucking mad. Are you lying to me? No, but there are special kind of crocodiles, just 1 meter, no bigger than that. So I don't know if they lied, or if they just...
They were lying.
Because the grass was moving when I went there.
Yeah, no crocodiles in Idaho.
No, exactly. So they're just fucking with me. But you know my anxiety. I come there with a 4-year-old boy and his wife, and and it was the evening is starting to fall, and the sheriff is watching the area, and she said, stop. She said, what? The police. She said, if he comes and you're from Sweden and carrying around a 4-year-old American boy in the evening.
How much worse does it fucking get?
it gets worse. It gets much worse.
Right.
Yeah. So then she said, there is the house. Okay. And we were going. And then I have, the red laser from a gun. The dot on me like this. And what the fuck now? So I was almost shit my pants, So, okay. And then it disappeared. And then it come back again. A laser, what you call it?
Laser pointer. Yeah, laser target.
At me and the boy. And she said, I don't know where he's from. And then it disappeared again. Fucking hell. So finally we came to the house and went inside. It was 2 ladies who brought us in. They released and took the boy. And you go to my husband in the kitchen. Yeah. I went in, and there he sits. Did you see the laser point? I was showing you the way so you find the house. Thanks, man.
Oh, dude. What the fuck?
And then he had like a blanket on the table and lifted. It was guns all over the table. He said, just pick one. I said, what? Just pick a gun. Why? Because you see that? And they pointed to the house. When they come from that direction, you and me are supposed to go out, and we shoot them from the behind. So the brothers there can go out and attack them face to face. I'm not shooting anybody. He just looked at me and laughed like I was joking. So I was, can I use the toilet? I said, yeah, sure. And to grab a beer. So I took a Budweiser. I took 2 to the toilet and pretend to piss. And then I went back to the kitchen. And it was, which gun do you want? So I don't remember what kind it was, if it was a Glock or what it is. But I said, this will be good. Yeah, he helped me with it. So I will see. I will call you when the car comes from the prison guy. But fuck, I had to go to the toilet again. I said, but I was really had to pee, but I couldn't pee. The anxiety, and my heart rate was like this. So I went to the toilet, and then it's the first time. Sounds stupid, but I put away the gun and sat on the toilet. This is the first time I did a prayer. I sat on the toilet. I was supposed to be a badass white power skinner to believe in the all northern gods. But I prayed to the God. I don't remember exactly how I prayed, but I told me, if you take me out of this situation, I will put my life in your hands. I will leave this shit. I do everything, And suddenly he started to yell in the kitchen, come on. And I thought, okay, now it's now I'm gonna die. I'm gonna go out to shoot people in America, and then the police come to shoot me, or I get lifetime in Alcatraz for 1,000 years. You know, that was my, yeah. So when I came to the kitchen, he said, it's over, it's over. What? Yeah, they called me. They won't come today. They will do it another day. Yeah.
Fucking insanity. It's insane.
Did he hear me or what the fuck? But yeah, but then after that I said, shit, I promised God to, oh no.
Oh no. Shit.
So after that shit, I was, you know, like in the short, he took us and we went back and everything was fine. And now it's the last evening, we're going to give you a Halloween surprise. Okay? They took us to a place called the Haunted Fields. All right? What's that? You see, it was a big cornfield and buildings. We were supposed to, I didn't know what the fuck it was. We went there and people looked like, you know, in Hollywood makeup, like Jason for Friday the 13th, Michael Myers, and Chainsaw Massacre, jumped out and screamed with chainsaws, oh, you know that. So I was totally destroyed this fucking week. So it took me two weeks when I get back to Sweden to become normal again. Because when I went, so when I got to the work, we had big bushes. I worked in the healthcare in the psychic, what do you call it, taking care of, you know, people with psychic problems.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So when I went, one evening when I came, it was totally dark. We had bushes, and I walked there. I just was like, this is so. And then one of the girls who living there had full makeup and jumped and ran. And I almost passed out just because the situation you would say. So that was the fucking worst time ever.
That's fucking crazy.
I will never go back to America.
That's, man, and I mean, I know in Idaho they're fucking extreme. They're all like the militia and shit. They're all into guns and fucking survivalists and all that kind of crazy shit. There's a lot of that fighting that goes on, and that, you know, like, you think it's just made up bullshit, but fuck, man, I know that stuff happens. It fucking happens all the time. You know, they fucking, the group, like we said, the groups fight each other all the fucking time, you know?
Yeah, and this is for real. It's not just an ordinary Swedish fist fight. It's just with guns, you know. Yeah. The day before the gig, they took us out to a shooting range. So, because they asked us, have you ever shoot with machine guns and stuff? No, I haven't. So, there was a place, looked like a desert. There was many people, like a family gathering.
Sure.
I remember the place we were. Beside us, it was a family with a big, you know, truck, and it was loads of guns. His wife and small kids were shooting like hell, you know. And this was the family gathering, you know. So, no wonder why it was crazy.
That is fucking crazy. God bless America, right? Fuck, that's fucking nuts, man.
So weapons everywhere.
Yeah, I lived in America myself, so, you know, I fucking know what they're like, you know. Yeah, I lived there for about 3.5 years in total. You know, my best friend lives in Idaho, and, you know, I don't know many people over there who don't have guns. So,
exactly, in every car.
Yeah, fucking everywhere, you know. You open a glove box and there's a fucking 9mm in there, and, you know, like, fucking hell, you know. So after all of that madness, years of craziness and that event, when did you actually get out, and what made you leave the whole movement, all that life? Because you were in it for a long fucking time, so why did you leave?
I started to think about it for many, many years before I left it.
Well, there you go. There's part 2 of the interview with Tomas. Part 3 will be out next week. Make sure you tune in for that one, and thank you for tuning in for this one. Much appreciated. And hey, if you want to keep supporting me and supporting the channel, there's many different ways you can do it. You can buy me a coffee, best way to support me, or you can buy my merchandise. We have memberships as well on Buy Me a Coffee and on here. So many different ways you can support this guy. And all the links are in the description below. If you can give this video a huge like, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the little bell to get notified, it'd be much appreciated. As a bonus, I have a live stream starting in about 10 minutes. If you want to jump on the channel, come join in on the live stream, have a good chat. But otherwise, I will see you on Thursday for another awesome video. Have a great week, everyone. Peace out. Love and light to you.